Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Sahil Mahajan, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look into Amazon Fraud Detector. So let's dive right into today's video. So firstly, we're going to talk about what is Amazon Fraud Detector. Amazon Fraud Detector is a managed service that enables the detection of fraudulent activities using machine learning. You can build, deploy, and scale fraud detection models. So if you have any use case wherein you want to detect fraud using machine learning, then Amazon Fraud Detector is for you. So let's talk about a couple of use cases where you would be using or where we can use AWS Fraud Detector so you guys can get a better understanding. First being online payments. It helps you to detect and prevent online payment fraud in real time. Now, what do we say by online payments? Normally this relates to credit card fraud. There are a lot of people out there who perform a lot of credit card fraud. That's where you can use AWS Fraud Detector to detect such and prevent these online payments in real time. You can also use it for account compromise detection. You can detect and prevent unusual behavior. So if you have an account that has been taken over by another bad actor, Fraud Detector can be used to find out those unusual behaviors that hey, this user does not normally do this, but now this user is doing this. So let's go ahead and block this account and investigate further. You can also use it to block fake account creation. It can spot patterns of fake accounts and it can block them before they cause harm to your organization or your end users. There are a lot of people out there who try to abuse the loyalty program. So you can implement AWS Fraud Detector to help prevent abuse to your loyalty program. And finally, AWS Fraud Detector can also be used in application fraud. Normally, this is used in checking for credit card applications and loan applications. So whenever you apply for a loan or a credit card, the bank or the organization would normally use some fraud detection methodologies to check if you have ever committed such fraud, or is this a pattern of a typical fraud application. Moving forward, let's talk about how does AWS Fraud Detector basically work. The first step is you have data collection, wherein you collect a lot of historical data according to your use case. For example, if you're looking to prevent online payment fraud, you should collect a lot of historical data related to online payments. The second part is you have your model training. Here is where you're going to train AWS Fraud Detector with all of your historical data, so it knows what is a fraudulent activity and what is not a fraudulent activity. Third is you're going to deploy your model. So this whatever the model that was trained using your historical data will be deployed so that it can be used for real-time decision making. And fourth is your real-time decisioning. That's wherein when you integrate AWS Fraud Detector with your application, it performs real-time decisioning, that it makes a decision in real time whether this payment is fraudulent or not. And finally, the last part that is pretty much standard for any machine learning project or use case out there, that is continuous improvement. The model will keep continuously learn from its previous predictions. Of course, every machine learning model is not 100% accurate. So, AWS Fraud Detector basically helps keeps learning and improving itself. Let's move on. Let's talk about a couple of features related to AWS Fraud Detector. It is built-in machine learning, so you can go ahead and use the straightaway models, basic models that AWS have. You can have your own custom rules. As we mentioned previously, you can have real-time fraud detection. You have a lot of flexible integrations that can be integrated with various different AWS services. And another thing that is standard about AWS is that this service is very scalable and also secure because it is deployed on AWS's secure infrastructure. And finally, we're going to be taking a look into the integration with AWS services. So, AWS fraud detector can be implemented with various different services, like you have Amazon S3. It can be integrated with Lambda. You can have SNS. Why would you have SNS? In case you want to send out an alert, an email, a notification, an SMS, something to your employees, and that, hey, we found out a fraudulent activity. You can implement it with CloudWatch, and also you can implement it with IAM for better access control. So now let's dive right into the AWS console, so I can show you guys a demo related to AWS fraud detector. Okay guys, as you can see, I am here on the Amazon fraud detector page. Again, this is a machine learning service provided by AWS. As you can see, you have how it works. You have step 1, where you can explore your data models for your use case. Then you have step 2, where you define the event you want to evaluate for fraud. And step 3 is where you upload your historical data. Step 4 is where you are choosing your model type and you're training your data. And step 5 is you create any rules, either to accept, review, or collect more information. And finally, 6 is wherein you implement fraud detector into your applications. Let's quickly go ahead and click on Get Started. So as you can see here, we are on our Data Models Explorer. You can see you have various different business cases that we spoke about. You have online transaction fraud, new account fraud, account takeover fraud, online checkout and payment fraud, custom fraud model in case you want to have something that's completely custom, and a product review fraud. So you can go ahead and basically choose a use case, like have your online transaction fraud, and then when you scroll down, you can see that you have some data model insights available over here for you. And then if this is something that you like, you can go ahead and click on create event type. Then you have a lot of detectors. Again, I currently do not have access to Amazon fraud detector, hence why I won't be able to show you guys a demo, but you can see a pretty good overview over here. When you select your model data for your business use case, you build an event data set. That's where you upload your historical data. You provide training, and then finally you build a detector to get predictions. You can choose models over here. Here's where you can create your models. You can click on add model. You can add a model from SageMaker, or you can click on create one. And then of course you will have to have an event before you are able to create a fraud detector. So this was a very, very basic overview. You sometimes your account may not have permission to use Amazon fraud detector, so you will have to submit a request with AWS. As you can see in my use case, I do not have access, but I was able to show you guys a quick run through that. You have your data model explorer, where you choose your business case. You have your detectors, where your detection takes place, and then you have your model, where you have different models according to your use case. And then you have your events, entities, outcomes, and all of this stuff that is pretty useful. So I hope you guys did like this video. You got a good understanding related to what is Amazon fraud detector, and I hope you guys did like this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, do subscribe, and do comment if there are any other topics out there that you guys would like me to cover. I hope you guys have a great day ahead. See ya. Take care. Bye bye.